Hello everyone, the nation builders and the would-be nation builders. Hope all of you are safe. First of all, I would like to say sorry to you because I couldn't post videos for a long time due to some unavoidable circumstances. Today, after a long time, I am again going to upload a video. Hope it will benefit you. In today's video, I will discuss something about globalization in education on request of one of my students. So let us not waste time and start discussing about globalization in education. Actually, the concept of globalization, though the term is has become very popular nowadays, but the concept of globalization is not very new. It was first introduced by Adam Smith in his book Wealth of Nation in 1776. He used the term globalization on economic point of view, but we will discuss it from education point of view. The term globalization has derived from the word globalize, which means emergence of international network of social and economic system. Because education is a part of social system, so it has great influence in the field of education too. In the general phenomena, globalization is something that brings the whole world under a single roof. It inculcates the we feeling among all the human beings, those who reside in the planet Earth. Okay, that means which is something that interconnect all the nations of the world, and how such phenomenon has its influence on education. That's what today we are going to discuss in this video. Globalization under World Trade Organization in 1995 signed a general agreement on trade and services called GATS Treaty, which considered as a milestone in the context of globalization, which created an unprecedented mode of change in the education system, especially in the higher education. Actually, the primary and secondary education of any country, it's something very personal affair, which doesn't have anything to do with the other nations of the world, because in this two stages of education, the normally the culture of the particular nation, the systems, the etiquette, all the things are taught to the children, and the foundation of higher education is built. But globalization has mainly its impact on the higher education system of a country. In your B.Ed course, you don't need so much elaboration of globalization, because you have a topic of LPG, that is liberalization, globalization, and privatization. Sometimes questions come together, or sometimes you are asked to write short notes on this particular topics individually. So not too much marks will be allotted for this particular questions. So instead of discussing too much, let me directly come to the impact, because introduction you will get in this PPT, and then we will mainly discuss about the impacts of education, impacts of globalization on education, or more specifically you can say higher education. Let us start with the positive impact. In the first point, it is written that globalization encourages educational and cultural exchange program among the countries across the world. A few years back, CBSE also introduced, though it's not a part of higher education, still in case of school education, they have introduced what to say, it's not a scheme actually. Under the educational strategy, some of the children, selected children, are taken to other countries. They are introduced with the way of that is education system of that particular country. They are introduced with the culture of that particular country, so that the interchange of various programs can be enhanced. This is, I think you have heard about that is teacher exchange and student exchange program also, that is done. Some of the teachers of the higher educational institutes like universities are transferred to the other universities of other country, so that they can that is they can introduced with the innovative ideas and practices done in those countries, and can bring them to their own countries. So that's how exchange program is done, which helps in enhancing the quality of education as well. Then the countries like India, we belong to a developing country which is in the process of development. So what happens in case of such countries, globalization helps in upgrading the standard of education. The standard of education can be upgraded with the help of globalization. Uh, like sometimes by competing with each other, sometime by whatever just now it is said about the exchange programs. With the help of such things, the quality of education can be enhanced. Then globalization in education results in the creation of cooperation and common understanding among the developing countries. Kaviguru Rabindranath Tagore also once said that to uh, develop for a country, it is very much required to inculcate the value like international brotherhood. If we remain so much confined, in that case it will be difficult for us to keep pace with the that is the keep pace with the developed countries. So for that, globalization is very much required, because it results in creation and cooperation of common understanding among the developed countries, so that all together they can proceed towards the way of development. Then globalization, it's accessible to wide range of consumers in the from the point of education. From education point of view, consumers are nothing but the students, researchers, parents, who can uh, be provided with that is educational opportunities to a wide range as a result of globalization. Then globalization can help the learners to introduce themselves with various innovative form of knowledge transmissions that are that were practiced in developed countries from long before, like ICT, then open online courses, then various diverse strategies of techniques, methodologies in the teaching learning process like CAI, CAL. This kind of innovative technologies are nowadays introduced in our country, which were practiced in developed countries from long before. So now this kind of innovations are introduced in our country as a result of globalization. So that is another positive impact of globalization on education. Same way, maybe some other countries are also following some of the strategies and techniques of teaching in their countries. So that's how exchange of the strategies are also taking place. Um, there is a part of education which is called as comparative education, where comparison between the educational system and process of various countries are done, and whatever positive things are found, one country tries to introduce that those positive that is sides of other countries in their educational system. So that is also an impact or influence of or you can say consequence of globalization. Then the learners, they are exposed to global curriculum, which is very essential to cope with the surrounding when that is citizen of a country go to another country for uh, that is for research or by getting scholarship. So in that case, what happens if the curriculum of a country is concentrate on the political, social, philosophical, whatever that is social systems of that particular country. In that case, it will be very difficult for a learner to go to other countries and to adapt themselves with the educational system of that particular country. So it's very much required for introduction of a global curriculum, which is done nowadays as a result of globalization. Then books and journals written by the experts across the globes can also be that is made available for the learners, so which is again a very beneficial thing for the learners. Then one some of the things I have not introduced, you can listen to the video carefully, then you can write by your own. Like that is globalization helps in emerging some new aspects like PPP, that is public private partnership, then total quality management, resource mobilization in higher education, which ultimately that is enhance the quality of higher education of any developing country. So that is very important. That is impact of positive impact of globalization. Then let us discuss with the damaging impact of globalization, which again very important. First is marketization of higher education. Marketization means normally what happens, education is treated as a service for the community to provide productive members to the society or the community. Education is provided. This is the one of the most important aims of education, to build up the productive members of the society. But due to globalization, what is happening nowadays, education is treated as a marketable commodity. That means whatever disciplines of educations are in demand in the market, like you can say engineering, then medicine, then MBA, then CA. These are something. These are some disciplines of educations which are on demand. So nowadays, what is happening? Most of the educational institutions, they are concentrating on providing this particular that is kinds of education by keeping in mind the needs of the market, which is ultimately degrading the quality of education, because subjects like humanities, social sciences, these are often neglected, which is which cannot bring whole that is or you can say which cannot bring all round development of an individual. So this is a damaging effect of globalization. Then globalization is gradually leading towards privatization in education. If you see, if you compare the private educational institutions with that of the public institutions, you will see the differences. The infrastructure and all are very high, but still some drawbacks are there, like that is a tremendous hike in the fee structure, then unrestrained autonomy, which is very very negative for the society, because such unrestrained autonomy, what is happening, education is becoming available for the elite society. The education become unaffordable for the non-creamy layer of the society, those who belong to the poor category, poor sections of the society. Education becomes unaffordable for them. So that is another very negative impact of privatization in education, which is ultimately the consequence of globalization. Then globalization is causing de-professionalization in education. Nowadays, what is happening? Teachers become obsessed with the use of technology, and at this pandemic situation of COVID-19, online classes are very much in demand. So teachers are becoming very much obsessed with the use of technology, like e-learning courses are there, e-books are there, ICT related technologies, video broadcast, these are very much virtual classroom, these are very much on demand. So as a result of what is happening, there is a physical distance between the teachers and the taught, and such distance between the teacher and the taught ultimately weakening the psychological interlink between them. There is no emotional attachment between the teacher, it cannot be built up. Teachers are the main that is duty of teacher to act as a motivator or guide, but when there is lack in psychological interlink, no such things can be done for the students. So that is another very important drawback of globalization. Then brain drain is the term which means transfer of talents from educational institutes of a developing country to the prominent universities of the developed countries, which is you know that so many scholars earlier in ancient days, scholars were produced in India, which is a developing country. You can take India as an example, but nowadays what is happening, no kind of innovations, no discoveries are done in our country, because most of the talented brains, they are they are going abroad for their personal yeah, their personal benefits, or maybe they are not getting appropriate opportunities here, that's why they are going to other countries, which is ultimately loss for the country. Because if whatever contribution, when they are going to other countries, they are contributing in the development or upgradation of various systems of that particular country. But if those talented brains would reside here in our country, they could contribute in development of our our country. So that's how brain drain is also a very ill effect of globalization in education. So though we have discussed about globalization in education, and as you know, education, that is, it's a part of social system which has, that is, if education is affected, if educational aspects and educational system is influenced, it will ultimately have equal impact on economical, political, environmental and cultural aspects, and ultimately it will influence the standard of living of the human community. Education aims to uh, that is, bring out all the talents, bring out the hidden qualities of an environment, and make an environment, that is, hidden qualities of an individual, and make an environment so that they can uh, be, that means they can, uh, that is, all round development can be done, so that they can adapt with the changes of environment. But though globalization has some positive effect, it enhances the quality in education, it helps in providing various facilities, but still the moral and spiritual developments are always neglected due to uh, private marketization in education, or you can say deprofessionalization of the teaching profession. So that's how there should be a balance between the positive and negative effect of globalization. Then only it can be regarded as, if the whatever the negative or damaging impacts are there, if there those whatever problems created by such things, if those can be taken care of, then globalization in education will definitely be a boon, that is, what to say, definitely be a boon for the society. So I hope this video will be helpful for you. It will serve the purpose of yours in your B.Ed course. So this much for today. Let me stop here. If you want any kind of improvement, please do comment on the comment box, which will be highly appreciated. If you like the video, please do share it, and in to get that is, regular notifications, you please click the bell icon. So bye for now.